Hey world, I am back with another video. Today, I'm gonna have to eat my words on screen here. I have poo-pooed Goyard so many times, and now I understand why so many of you love yours. So let's just get right into it. Those of you who are new to my channel, the reason why I did not like Goyard and I thought it was so overrated, so overhyped, is really down to the experience I had at the Goyard store in Paris. It was a terrible experience compared to the rest of my trip in Paris. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll make sure to link it above and below for you. It was a wonderful trip, a great pickup, and a great story at Hermes and of course Dior and everything. But the Goyard experience was just like the bottom of the barrel from that entire trip, which again led to my perception of like, what's the big deal with Goyard? However, I did pick up these two new pieces the second time I was in France last year. We were in the Nice store where there was no line. It was an unplanned trip. We just happened to walk by and there was not a single person queued up. So we're like, all right, well, let's just go in and look around. And it was a 180 experience. The sales associate was incredibly nice and we just had a really good time there. So I decided to pick these two pieces up. You know, I love my card holders, so I'm like, why not? It's a really good price there compared to the United States. And I've always liked the silhouette of the Belvedere PM, and this one is burgundy. Burgundy is super on trend right now, and I just love burgundy in general. My entire haul from Paris this past year, this is my most used bag from that particular haul. I did do a 3-month video, so if you want to go check that out, I will make sure to link all 3 different videos I'm talking about down below in the description box, as well as the pinned comments. So these 2 pieces are not the star of the show today. I will come back to that, but this is the star of the show today. I did pick this up from the Real, and it is going to be the Goyard 233. I don't know. But this is the older version of the 233. And of course, you know, I'm just doing my daily rounds and taking a look at all of the different options out there. I am part of the Real First Access, I guess, membership, whatever you call it. I think it costs like $12 a month. Yes, it gives me more opportunity to look at random stuff while I'm working here or just, you know, sitting on the couch watching TV. There you go, you keep scrolling. And I think they do 10 a.m. drops, so correct me if I'm wrong, but they do multiple drops a day. There's a love-hate relationship with the Real. I understand that. The experience is not as luxurious as if you were to go with Fashion File, but there's a lot of different options out there for a fantastic price. So this one I picked up for, I wanna say about $1,500, but I did pay an extra $200 or $300 for the guarantee returns because I just don't know when it comes to the Real how you could get a fake item or perhaps there's something wrong with it. The pictures and the descriptions are not exactly correct or accurate, and I just want a simple, easy no return or a yes return kind of guarantee if there were any issues with it. So this was a fantastic price. I was doing my research really quickly before I made the purchase to see what the secondary prices are. And they range anywhere from like $3,000 to $4,000 to $6,000. And I was just like, all right, that is kind of all over the place. However, the reason why this was priced relatively low is because this piece, the older piece, actually usually comes with a wallet, which is kind of cool because that's like a lot of bang for your buck. Now, I don't know what the original price is on this. However, I'm okay with not having a wallet. It was like a long wallet based on the very few pictures that I could find. It's not something I would use anyways, and I feel like it would take up a lot of room in this particular purse. If the wallet wasn't there, then yeah, I actually can fit a lot of stuff in here, which I'll show you a little bit later. But this particular piece, the reason why it was priced so low is because of the hardware. Now, the bag itself is beautifully constructed. It is a very well thought out bag, a very functional bag. And again, like I said, this is the older version. No flaws whatsoever when I was looking at the glazing, looking at the actual paint itself. And it does have a back pocket where you can put a phone in there and you've got the Real tag. The interior is accessed by this little button enclosure where you can just open it up. And the interior, there are multiple different compartments. There's two main big compartments, one slip pocket here and another slip pocket in the front. It did also come with its original tags and hang tag, and of course the bag itself. Now we know Goyard either comes with a dust bag or a box. They don't come with both. So this is what we consider almost a full set without the wallet. And when it comes to the strap and the handle, this is an adjustable one where it's built in with these grommets. I think that's a fantastic design instead of having an extra D-ring on top like the Constance, the Hermes Constance, where you would pull the strap to a long shoulder strap or double it up. So this one is built through the actual flap itself. Very similar to a Chanel. In my opinion, that is definitely much more seamless. So you would just pull it through like this, or if you want to make it shorter, it becomes a nice shoulder bag or a top handle, crook of your arm bag. This is not long enough for me to crossbody. However, I am a bigger person. So if you are more petite, then I think you are able to crossbody it. But in terms of the proportion, this is a pretty wide bag. So I don't know if you are a more petite person, you crossbodying in this might look a little disproportionate. That's, an opinion. So again, coming back to why this was priced relatively low compared to the general secondary market is because of the hardware. It was completely scratched up. And that wasn't shown in the pictures. I mean, I get it, it's a little bit hard to see, but we also know that the Real takes terrible photos. There's not enough of them, and you would have to reach out to them for more photos, but that would take forever. By that time, it will probably have been gone already, which is why I went with the guarantee return option. If I hadn't figured out how to fix bags, I would have instantly returned it because the scratches were terrible. So what did I do? I went down the rabbit hole on researching on how to fix that. And I was gonna give it a try. I was like, working on bags and fixing them and restoring them is kind of like a Zen activity for me. So I was happy to try it out. And if it didn't work out for whatever reason, I can always return it. Obviously, if it's in worse condition, I wouldn't do so, but it was worth it for me to give it a try. So what I found is this Cape Cod polishing cloth. I know there are a lot of polishing cloth out there. I actually started with my regular polishing cloth, the Connoisseur's one. It didn't do anything. It just made it a little bit shinier. However, the gold hardware on this is so incredibly scratched up. So I'll insert a video as I'm talking you through this. And what I have found is this Cape Cod one that actually worked phenomenally. I watched a couple of videos randomly here and there. I think some of them were on TikTok, some of them were on Instagram, and then others are on YouTube. And the result showed me that I was actually confident enough to purchase one and use it on this relatively expensive bag, because what they demonstrated on was something a little bit like, I don't know, some old watch that they found at a yard sale. This comes in a Ziploc bag and it's like really weird feeling, oily, but also wet at the same time. There are 3 pieces that you can use, and you can see I used a lot of it. I don't want to take it out and then touch my bag here. However, the tarnishing and the scratches, I was able to polish it off pretty well. The before and after is just so satisfying to see. This is definitely a miracle worker. Everything I'm talking about today will be linked down below, so if you want to go check that out. I don't know if I can find another one of these for you. Again, this is the older version. The newer version I actually don't like as much, just because the flap here is a solid piece of leather in one single color. I feel like this is much more cohesive. That's just my opinion. The two-tone kind of option is just not my jam. Now going back to the hardware here, is it 100% pristine and looks brand new? No, it doesn't. It has a little bit of beauty marks, so to speak, that I'm not afraid of using it and wearing it, even though there's still a little bit of scratching up here that I couldn't fix. But because it's not perfect, I feel very confident wearing it out in the rain, wearing it out, not having to worry about it as much. And that's kind of the consensus, I feel like, where if you don't purchase something new, you're not going to baby, like this one was brand new. Do I baby it? Not really, but if this piece had a hardware like this, I definitely would baby it a lot more. I was able to polish the interior as well as the buckle here. I tried polishing the grommets, but it didn't really need it. Also, it was a little bit harder to polish with that little tacky feeling. Going back to why I previously said I did not like Goyard is because every single time I see somebody with a Goyard, it is the St. Louis tote. It is the small St. Louis, the GM size, whatever the case is. That St. Louis tote is just not my jam. It just seems like it's a heaping mess. It has zero structure at all. Yes, I know this is personal preference. I like my bags to be much more structured in general, and especially when it comes to a tote, which is why I don't like really long shop bags, because it's just a heaping mess and it slumps at the bottom. Everything falls, kind of craters into the middle, and it just does not look very nice, in my opinion. I also had a friend who purchased a brand new St. Louis tote, and he just started wearing like it for a week, and I saw some of the chipping of the paint and the leather. I was like, you use this for a week? I mean, I didn't say anything, but in my head, I was just like, well, you only use this for a week, and I can see wear and tear, like bad wear and tear within a week. And I think it's just due to the nature of how the canvas, whatever you want to call this, is hand painted, right? On a structured bag, the paint itself is going to stay on incredibly well. But if you do the same hand painting, it's like hand painting on a piece of fabric, and then you go like this, the paint is gonna start cracking or lifting, whatever the case is. And that's what you're gonna see with a lot of St. Louis totes. Of course, the corner wear, every single piece that you see on the secondary market has corner wear, and it has holes in it. It's just not a good look. It just looks a little trashy. Now, if you can keep the corners pretty pristine, fine, I'll give it to you, which is why if I were to pick a tote that's similar in that silhouette, I would go for the Neverfull over the St. Louis tote all day, any day. I also had the plume bag, which I let go of. I used that maybe all of once, maybe twice. That thing fit nothing in there. So that was like my initial experience when it comes to Goyard, and how I did not like it at all. And I kind of just was a blanket statement for the entire brand, which yes, you shouldn't do that. However, when I picked up my Belvedere as well as my little card holder, fantastic, nothing but good experience, very hard wearing, very useful. I don't have to worry about it. And now that I've had this one in my collection for, I want to say a month or two. Yeah, it took me a while to film this video. This one has been fantastic. And the fact that the hardware got super scratched up tells me that this person actually wore it quite a bit, or they decided to just grab it and like scrape the hardware on like gravel or something. I don't know. I'm gonna make the assumption that this person who owned it before did wear it quite a bit, and that's why the hardware got scratched up, even though the rest of the bag is pristine looking. One thing I will mention is that the bottom of the bag, or the structure of the bag, is an accordion style, so you do have to kind of stretch it out in order to use the maximum capacity of it. However, I feel like this is a very easy bag to pack and just throw in your luggage if you ever need to travel with it. But it does get a little bit annoying for you to try to put all your stuff and kind of smush down the bottom so that, again, you can maximize the capacity of it. Kind of like a Chanel walk, where you might want to buy a base shaper so that you can stretch the bottom out to utilize every inch of this space. All right, so I filled this bag to the brim with all of my essentials, as well as a couple more items that I found I threw in there just to see how much can fit. And this thing is hefty. Look at that. This is Big Bubba here. I feel like I could just take this around and just whack somebody with it and it might do some damage. And Big Bubba here wants you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you are new to my channel, drop me a comment. Let me know you're new so I can say hi and welcome you to my channel. If you are returning, glad you're here. You know what to do. I rely on you every single week. Let's see what I have in my bag here. So again, it's just this little button open here, and I did fill it to the max. I could probably fit more stuff in here, but I don't know if I want to. On the first compartment here, I did put in my usual Valentino catch-all with my mirror, lippies, random things. I also have my Foyer Lepage key pouch. I just keep my headphones in there. Do I need to keep in a key pouch? No, I don't, but you know, I have key pouches. Let's use it. In the second compartment, I do have my key with this massive like keychain thing from Lululemon, a lip oil, my Goyard card holder, and a portable charger. Now in the back is where I kept my phone. So again, I lived the unfortunate life of carrying two phones, so I could fit one back here and then another one inside the bag if I want to. So it does fit quite a bit. And I feel like now that I have 2 of these in my collection, it kind of is very similar. Obviously, you have the Goyard print, but it's also very different at the same time. This one has a crossbody strap that is adjustable, but mainly this is going to be used as a crossbody bag, whereas this one is more of a shoulder bag, a long shoulder and a short shoulder. So 2 different functionalities, very similar in nature, but also very different at the same time. Now, will I add more Goyard pieces to my collection? I don't know. If the right piece and the right price comes along, I've been stalking the Goyard website a little bit because, you know, always got to have that something lined up that will, if you ever randomly go into a Goyard store and you are being treated nicely by the SA, you're like, yeah, let's spend some money. You don't want to be completely a fish out of water, be like, oh, well, I don't know anything about Goyard. I gotta keep up with the news. I don't know, it's just enough of me rambling here. I hope you enjoy this unboxing here. Life is hard. I wanna help you save time and money so that you can somehow adult easier and hopefully less than retail. I'll see you all next time.